Oh, man. Oh, there's a lot going on here. This is obviously really stylish and awesome, but there's some real martial ideas going on here. So let's break it down. When I think of Tekken, I think of stylish and creative beatdowns, and what better way to include stylish legend himself, Vincent Cassel, voicing this new character, Victor. So let's look at it. We're going to break down the martial arts that Victor uses in Tekken 8, and we're going to discuss some of the cinematic language used as well. If you enjoy our time together, please look at some of the other videos we've done on this channel, including my documentary on how I lived as a warrior monk in China and my fight scenes that I created with real warrior monks. All right, guys, let's see what Katsuhiro Harada has kicked up for us today. What's everybody's favorite Tekken game? That's what I want to know. And who's your main in Tekken, if you do play? Oh, it's Paris.
Les couchers de soleil sur la Seine me rappellent ce que je dois protéger.
Beautiful. Vincent Cassel's voice is just not. Yeah, he's total legend. You probably know him from he's in the Bourne movies. Probably the most popular American thing he's done. He's a great actor. Just like style. Awesome. I get John Wick vibes from this right away. I also love the lighting in this. The lighting engine for Tekken 8 seems to have vastly improved from previous games. Nice kind of like refractory quality to the lighting. But because the character has this sort of like blue-purple tie, that's really contrasting with the orange of the sunset, so great choice. All right, let's look at him. Oh, come on. Right off the bat, John Wick. I just said it, right? John Wick. Oh, he's got two knives. One is like a switchblade and one is like a traditional knife. Oh, man. Oh, there's a lot going on here. This is obviously really stylish and awesome, but there's some real martial ideas going on here. So let's break it down. How he's using kind of multiple weapons, multiple techniques, bouncing back and forth between them. So look at this. He comes down with this strike, and that was with his fist, I believe. Comes in with the kick, and that was actually, it was an exaggerated wind-up here, but it's actually kind of like a Wing Chun-esque kick right to the kneecap. How he does that. It's more of like a check than a kick, but look what he does here. I mean, that is a devastating kick delivered to the kneecap. The wind-up is obviously, you have to telegraph a little bit more in everything you do for a fighting game. So I'm totally okay with it. The other player that you're interacting with and your opponent has to be able to see a little bit. If there's no telegraphing to any of the moves, it's going to be like really hard to fight each other and pretty unenjoyable game. But look at that. Oh, just that beautiful kneecap kick. And look how he follows it up. He seamlessly draws out his firearm and boom, in this really like tight draw. I think he does another. Yeah, that was so John Wick, man. He does the one shot, and then, since he's kind of like established, okay, a hit on the opponent, comes out closer, takes another shot, and then, okay, like he's clean, he's clear, follows up, and then back in the holster and takes his knives out. I love how he has all these different weapons, and I see he has like a huge sword on his hip, so I'm really curious how he's going to use that, but I'm super impressed with it so far. If you're enjoying our time together, make sure to subscribe. I really like it. It's very tactical, and I automatically get a sense of this character's background from this. It's like, okay, he's got that John Wick sort of style, but beyond that, he fights in a super efficient manner. Again, using kind of like tactical kick, super tight. Everything is tight, as if he's going to be fighting in very real world situations. Like, you think John Wick, you think he's fighting in a nightclub. Not a lot of room to draw your weapon. Oh, and there's that sword, man. Humongous hit with speed. Oh man, the dual knife play is really crazy here. So something that I really think is cool is he has this sort of switchblade. And I think he was actually punching with his knuckles and then using the techniques with the knife and the cutting. That's a really cool attention to detail there. I think we got a closer look at his weaponry here. Let's go back a little bit. His cutlery. Yeah. Oh, that's really awesome. Yeah, he has this like switchblade, and there's this huge blade in his other hand. Devastating blade to get cut with. My goodness gracious. I want to see this combo one more time. Not to pause play too much here, but we are trying to break it down. Some really interesting techniques. This punching technique, how he's moving is, Yeah, just like I said. So he has a knife in both hands, but he is punching, and you know he is cutting. There's like cutting lines, but the way he's striking is it's very boxerly. You know, it's very boxing, almost like he's doing a tight combo with the knives in his hands, and it's really cool. And it almost looked like he does have some sort of brass knuckles, you know, on his gloves, some sort of, you know, metallic knuckles on his gloves. So it's just like a devastating situation to get attacked with this guy with two knives and metal on his hands. Like anything you get clipped with is just horrible. I love it. And yeah, his techniques are very interesting. He's kind of like moving again, almost like in a boxerly way, almost like slipping, but with the knives. He's like achieving cuts as he moves around. Awesome techniques. I love it. Oh, okay. So this is where the stuff gets super interesting. What's happening here is really, really awesome. He's attacking twice with one movement. Did you notice this? So if we go back, he actually sweeps right here. Okay, he does an awesome sweep. But as he sweeps, he cuts up with the knife. So he's doing this leg sweep, kick, and slicing upward. And it's just like, man, the coverage, the martial coverage that he's you know achieving with this is really remarkable. And to kind of put it into something easy to picture, there's a reason that like rapier and dagger, rapier and mangalsh, if you've seen that classic sword fighting style, is so hard to deal with. It's for the same exact reason, right? You can attack two different places, or more importantly, you can defend the opponent or kind of like trap their one blade if they're fighting with a single sword and then stab them. So it's just the same thing here, right? Like slicing up with a knife while kicking. Dangerous. How are we going to block against that, right? And he does it again, I believe. Yeah, he does it again with the sword. He sweeps again, kicks again with his low leg, and cuts upward with his, you know, more katana. That is very Metal Gear Solid, I just want to say. This katana is very Raiden from Metal Gear. Love it. So this character has a lot of cool qualities to him, doesn't he? He has that sort of John Wick look to him, very knife-heavy John Wick, and then he has a katana, almost like cyborg katana. And look at that. Goes kind of super samurai with that strike. That was awesome. Really good swordsmanship, too. Oh, that might have been my favorite bit right there. Hold on. That was so clean, man. I think that's the kind of hallmark of this character. He's clean. All his moves are clean. The suit's clean. Look at this. He does this knee, and then again just draws and fires while the gun is still there. And again, you know, you think almost like Metal Gear Solid Snake's classic stance there with the knife and the weapon, and of course John Wick. And he's got all those qualities, man. Speaking of Metal Gear, very well done. Yeah. And again, just from a choreography standpoint, it's so clean as a movement to say, okay, the knee, and then we draw the weapon. Huge upward strike. All right, let's watch a little bit more. I paused enough. Yeah, just the seamless, for me, it's the seamless switching between weapons, the stylishness of the character, and the voice actor, Vincent Cassel. And look at that depth of field. Let's talk about the camera work for a second to get into the film side a little bit. Look what happens here. I think we not only have a slowdown. Oh, man. So we have that ramping up. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. And then the depth of field changes in the background. So what we've done here is we've seamlessly switched. We punched in on the focal length. So we've punched into probably, it was quite wide. I would say like a 50 millimeter, a 30 millimeter pulled back. And then what we've done is we punched into closer to like a portrait lens, I would say, like maybe like a 70 millimeter. But what we've also done is we've changed the focal, the f-stop, and we've changed the aperture to get this beautiful bokeh in the background. And that, you know, that is a given with a shallow depth of field. It happens when you get a juicy aperture like that in like the 1.4 range, something like that, is what I would guess. And look at that. Just, it gives you a filmic image, and he knees him right in the face, man. Just falcon knee to the face. And then he comes down with that strike. I like how in Tekken they're using this sort of combination, of you'll get a little bit of cinematic like that during the fight for a super, like, I don't know if that's his like super move, or if that's just like, you know, you did a really good hit, like a well-timed hit, and it transitions like that. But that was awesome. And that was a great, speaking of camera work, look what happens here. We have this beautiful motivation for camera movement, which is this guy's awesome choreography. Why don't we, you know, follow him with the camera? And look what happens. We get this fantastic sense of motion as he comes down, boom, the camera slices down with the sword. And, you know, it's kind of, think of like Guts and Berserk, right? It's just to voice that momentum of his sword. They do these humongous movements in the manga. Like, you know, you don't really see him slice. You see the aftermath. It's just too fast. And it's the same here. Awesome. Again, just a clean shot. Just a clean shot. Beautiful portrait. Oh. Oh, that was so stylish, man. Again, I get John Wick vibes from it, right? This line. You gotten pretty good, Raven. I really like it because it reminds me of John Wick 2, where even though you got enemies, they're kind of, you know, frenemies. You respect each other. It's just part of the job, man. No hard feelings. It's kind of this mutual respect, and I think it's awesome for a game like Tekken. You got a humongous cast of people from all around the world with different skills, different martial arts. Let's lean into it, right? Awesome. Yeah. And these two fighting, man, what a... Wow. So, okay, again, question for the Tekken fans. Is that like his super, or is that just like a well-timed thing that the game rewards you with a cinematic with? That was awesome. Man, he loves the sweeps, too. Look at this monumental hit. I love it. That's so cool. But I want to talk about this. Man, he loves the sweeps. Does another sweep, draws the weapon. I also have a question too. I wonder how he's gonna. Wow, look at that kick. I wonder how he's gonna function. Like, so he can draw his firearm at any point. How does that work? Can he shoot you from across the stage, or is it something where you have to connect that sweep to then get the next move in the combo? Like, I have a lot of questions because, man, if he can attack you from across the stage like that, that's a huge advantage, right? Just check you at any point. Trying to close the distance. Like, nope. You can see some of his combos there. Ooh. Look at that. You know, I want to talk about, again, shout out to Harada and the Tekken team, because look at the environmental detail here. We've actually cracked the glass from slamming his opponent into it. It's awesome. And I love how the stage is moving as well. It gives a very cinematic feel to it. Like, this is the big fight. Oh man, these sword moves are devastating. So we're having, like, he has a lot of sort of signature ideas from a martial standpoint. Like, he has a lot of downward punches. Boom, when the opponent's down, actually slamming the opponent down with a downward punch, which is devastating. You know, damage from the impact and the punch. We have a lot of sweeps, and we have a lot of sort of sweep into drawing out another weapon and taking advantage of that opening. A lot of double attacks. And I see a lot of that repeating in different ways. So it's cool that they kind of have these hallmarks of the character, and they, you know, keep showcasing that. Let's do it in style. Oh, brutal. Checkmate. All right, this has to be a super attack. Ah, come on. That shot was so cool, man. That shot was so cool. Classic. Again, like I said earlier, look what happens. To emphasize the intensity. Boom! It's like we can't even see him move. He has this sort of, you know, super speed. It's just a blur, and then he's at the other side. And it's so cool, right? And we get that freeze frame. I love the use of sort of tasteful use of slow-mo in this, which again is achieved by filming at a higher frame rate in film. So we get that effect here by, boom, you know, converting that. It's a great shot too. Yeah, I really I mean, just what a cool looking character. Again, not somebody I would picture in Tekken. This sort of clean cut John Wick type guy with all these different weapons and stuff. I think classic martial artist, you know, hand and fist martial artist when I think of Tekken. So this is a great twist on it. Again, shout out to Harada and the team. I think you guys nailed it. And the imagery, the entire thing is just very, very impressive. And there it is. Tekken. Definitely one of the coolest shots. And I think, you know, it's a daring move to give him like that Raiden style kind of futuristic cyborg katana, and then have like a very classically dressed person. I think it's really fun. Again, to have these elements of John Wick, Metal Gear, and all these things kind of combined into one guy. It works oddly well, doesn't it? I think it was a really kind of a payoff for that gamble. So well done again. But that's my basic thoughts. I think the sort of martial element of it is very well done, and very creative. And again, I'll say one more bit on this. So I want to say a lot of people, sort of experts in martial arts, they will often condemn stuff like this and say, it's not realistic enough. People don't attack like that. What you have to remember is the medium, right? Number one, this is not a showcase to martial arts masters. And while there's something to be said for educating people who don't know about it, it is a game where you have to see your opponent's moves telegraphed enough so you can react and, deliver your own moves or your own counters, or even defend against that attack. So you can't have like just perfect speed, super speed martial arts on display. That would be very, very difficult to react to, because then the game is just not fun, and this character is broken. All right, and everyone would just use him. So it's an important thing to note. A lot of people don't talk about that enough. It's the same thing in film. We have fight scenes. A lot of people say, it's not realistic enough. What are these sword moves? People wouldn't do that. You have to make it visually interesting. It's a visual medium of art. It has to look good. And remember, most people are not martial arts experts, obviously, and they don't know either way. So it'd be one thing to make it super realistic and visually interesting, which is certainly possible, but quite rare. And when it's done, it still has, for the layman, not a lot of visual elements that are interesting. It's more of just like Easter eggs for experts, which is like a super minute, rare group, right? So you have to think about the audience, the medium, and more importantly, in this case, the gameplay. How's it going to play? How's it going to be competitive? How's it going to be visually interesting? And I think they delivered on all those fronts. So boom. Well done, Harada. Thanks everyone for watching. Like I said, if you want to see more, if you enjoyed our time together, please make sure to subscribe. And we'll see you next time on another video. Thank you guys for being here. But that's going to be it for today. Thanks everyone for watching.